In case you guys know, it's 10:06. I was in band recently. This is the Cypher. This is the Bobcat. BFND. I was doing something for band. It was kind of stupid. But whatever. It's band. You gotta get through it. But this is the main reason I want to talk to you guys. I may be too concerned about it, but this is kind of something that I was a little afraid of because, they already posted it. Box Office Mojo's already posted the box office results for the movies coming out this week. And those are, like, Pitch Perfect 2, Mad Max Fury Road. We're competing with each other. And here are the Friday estimates. These are not the actual results, so they could change, but still. Pitch Perfect 2 opened at number 1. 27.8 million. Mad Max Fury Road, 16,770,000. And it opened at number 2. So at least a bit on Age of Ultron, which got number 3, 10,059,000. But, and I'm not taking this too seriously, but it's obvious that Pitch Perfect 2 is going to win number 1, and it might end up beating Mad Max Fury Road again. It's not going to be number 1 because, we have, we have Tomorrowland coming out, same for Poltergeist, although I am not looking forward to Poltergeist. That could end up being a butchering of one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Seriously, if you've not seen the original, see it. There's also a curse surrounding that. I think it's kind of bullshit. But, this is my problem. I feel like that, are we relying on sequels now? I think like, oh, a sequel's coming out, this could be good. No, that's not always the case. Grown Ups 2 is one of the worst sequels I've ever seen. It's a comedy that isn't even good. And, oh my god, Grown Ups 2 is awful. It's not funny. Oh my god, this is one of the least funny comedies I ever saw. It's just so stupid. Probably the most unfunny comedy. Also, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. No one was asking for that. He came out 6 years after the original, and the original's not even all that good. It really isn't good. It's okay, or even just bad. It's just bad, not terrible. But oh my god, I hate Mall Cop 2, because one, it's not funny. The jokes are bad. Also, this movie almost feels like it's also just a product. It's just a feature-length commercial, just like many other Happy Madison's productions. Stop making these movies, guys. Stop making movies. Happy Madison Productions, just make commercials, because you suck in movies. I mean that literally. Most of your movies just suck ass. Anyways, guys, I just want to point that out. Also, I'm afraid this kind of relates to something. I feel like, are people just afraid to take something new? They don't want to see something new. Doesn't feel like no complain about it. They like, okay, you complain about it, you want to see something new, yet you just hate something that's new. What the fuck? You can't give any credit for originality? Sometimes there's stuff that's considered good. One thing I found that was really surprising is that I thought Guardians of the Galaxy looked kind of weird and I was skeptical, but then after a while I wanted to see it. It looked awesome, and I loved it when I saw it. I loved it. So did my mom. She's not even a fan of sci-fi. And really, of superhero movies, actually, that's surprising. She loves Spider-Man, though. Although, that was one of the first ever superhero. That really made the superhero genre even more bigger than ever. Seriously, the first one that ever really started that was Superman back in the 70s, but it really hit a high point with Spider-Man because it became incredibly successful. And it was a great movie. I loved it. I liked Spider-Man 2 better. Fuck Spider-Man 3. Amazing Spider-Man is better than Spider-Man 3. But you can't beat the first two. Thank you, Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire. Not seen Amazing Spider-Man 2. But guys, I'm thinking this is a problem. I mean, seriously, the first Pitch Perfect isn't all that great. It's a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny, but it's not all that original. It's pretty formulaic in its plot. Also, and some of the characters, they're not exactly original characters, but they are enjoyable and endearing, and they embrace the unoriginality. They don't care. They just want to make a movie that's fun and hilarious. Well, I don't think it was hilarious, but I really thought it was very funny. It was one of the funniest movies I saw in the 2010s. Though it can't beat 21 Jump Street. Fuck yeah. Same for 22 Jump Street and The Grand Budapest Hotel. I loved those movies. I loved The Grand Budapest Hotel. That movie was so funny. It was the funniest Wes Anderson movie I've ever seen. If you've not seen it, seen it. Especially if you're a fan of Wes Anderson. You have to see all those movies for convince me that you're a fan of him. But guys, I feel like this is somewhat of a bad sign. I don't want Mad Max Fury Road to be this year's Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow came out last year and was another action movie that opened behind a smaller film. This was the romantic comedy drama The Fault in Our Stars, based on the popular and acclaimed John Green book of the same name. That was a really good movie, but I didn't like it as... I didn't really enjoy it all as much as Edge of Tomorrow. I thought Edge of Tomorrow was a little better because at least there was more originality in it. And also, I thought it really brought a whole... I found more to enjoy in that movie. Sure, they're two different genres, but you know there are some movies of certain genres that are bad. I don't like certain movies because of of a specific genre. I don't hate movies because they're a specific genre. I find that unfair. That's just not all that fair. I may hate them, but I'm not gonna hate the films based on that. I can judge the films based on what I see on the screen and how I react to it. That's just being fair and be honest. That's an honest opinion to a movie. Just because you hate a movie, just because you hate certain movies, you hate certain people, doesn't mean you can't hate a movie. I feel like that's a little unfair, but that's your opinion. I don't give two shits. I just don't think it's fair. But guys, I feel like that a lot of people now are just relying on sequels and movies becoming franchises, or they're just relying, or maybe they're not really into something new. I mean, Pitch Perfect was not something really new. It was something nice to see, because I mean, it was a comedy that was funny, and you had a lot of enjoyable characters, and some good musical numbers. Pitch Perfect 2 has a 68% Rotten Tomatoes. Mad Max Fury Road, 98%. It's pretty fucking awesome. Average rating is an 8.8 out of 10 for Mad Max Fury Road. I think Pitch Perfect 2 has a 6 out of 10. Yeah, my camera bag just fell on the ground. I'm gonna go check it right now, but while I'm doing that, I'm gonna try and clarify. I feel like that a lot of people now these days, they just don't really want original projects anymore. Sure, Guardians of the Galaxy was a huge hit, but I thought it could have been bigger. It could have hit $1 billion. And that was kind of disappointing for a year like 2014 when, I'm gonna try and adjust the camera for it, yeah, it's a little better. When this really had some great hits, and well, some of these huge hits weren't really all that big. I mean, only one movie in 2014 hit $1 billion, and that was hated. It was one of the worst. It was considered one of the worst movies of the year. I never saw it. I have not seen any of these movies. I never really cared to. Transformers: Age of Extinction. I heard this movie was awful. I heard it was one of the worst movies of the year, possibly the worst in the series. It's really saying something because you don't have Shia LaBeouf in there. But yeah, you still have Michael Bay. That's fucking ridiculous. But what is it? Now, I know I may be being unfair to this because I still haven't seen Pitch Perfect 2, but to be honest, guys, okay, 6.1 out of 10, but still, the average rating's not all that higher. It's actually kind of low, but whatever. I mean, whatever you see it, don't really judge it based on me. This is just my opinion on what I think this could be a problem with movies today, that we're just relying on popular names and all these relevant names, things that we find relevant today, rather than just having this old franchise resurrected, or seeing something old, like seeing something from back like in the 70s or 80s being revamped for a modern time. Sometimes we've seen that before, and I feel like Mad Max Fury Road is one of the best examples of bringing back this old franchise we haven't seen, that moviegoers who grew up with these movies haven't seen for 30 years. And it was such a great thing to see. I mean, the action was fantastic, some of the best I've ever seen on film. Also, I love the story, the characters, they were getting some surprising emotional moments, the world building, cinematography, the editing, the visuals, the CGI, the practical effects, that's what actually most of the movie was. It's mostly practical effects. Sorry, I ate a big amount of food. It's just disappointing to know the fact that some people are just they want these smaller. I feel like that some people they just like sequels better. They want to see a sequel more, and sometimes they're just so judgmental towards a film, such as, oh, it looks weird. I knew it looked weird, but to be honest, I didn't care. I found a lot of unique imagination in the characters. Also, even the more bizarre characters in Fury Road had a personality. They had a very distinct personality that made them so different. Also, I thought the movie had more originality, had a lot of originality and imagination to it. It also was a breath of fresh air in such a drab genre, one that's just being messed with stupid shaky cam and quick cuts. And also gave us a story that's worth telling. It told a story. It gave us characters we're engaged in. Great performances. Just overall something that was great. It was one of my favorite action movies of all time. I don't know, guys. I was a little disappointed that some people are really wanting to see Pitch Perfect 2 instead. I mean, I want to see it, but I'm not all that hyped to. I was so hyped to see Fury Road. And there actually were a bunch of people in my theater. Originally it wasn't all that big at first, and while it wasn't as crowded as I thought it would be, it still had a good amount of people in there. And yes, it was a Friday, it was early, maybe it got bigger, But then, of course, 16 million. Not all that promising. Just scares shit out of me. And I was afraid this movie could be a financial flop because Mad Max Fury Road cost $150 million to make. And they made the best use of that budget. They gave us some of the best action sequences ever filmed. Fantastic cinematography and editing. Great performances. A good story. And I'm just afraid of that. That's my opinion, guys. I knew you were reacting, but this is my opinion based on, I feel like, do people just need sequels? They want to see a movie more because it's a sequel or something like that, or they just love a previous film, or it's just, it's a name that's relevant, or something that they like to talk about rather than seeing something new. I feel like that a lot of people are just not really all that looking forward to see something new. Maybe they don't want to see anything really different. I find it a little sad because, give something a chance. I don't know. A lot of people I know like to, we live in this age where really, people have some of the most incredibly strict and most very specific expectations. Whenever it comes to a comic book movie, swear, some people think it has to be faithful to a comic book. I don't really care. I'm not a comic book reader. I feel like they really have to stand on their own. The adaptations have to stand on their own because if you're just going to recreate, because you're just really recreating the original source material. That's kind of lazy, but also the fact is, but I feel like if you're going to try and make it stand on your own, at least capture what made the source material good to begin with, if it was good. If it was bad, improve upon it. They do it 50 Shades of Grey from what I've heard. And I couldn't get through the first page. You already saw the bad video. There's a clarification video. Watch that instead. I just went straight forward with that because the other one is so inaudible. I'm going to keep it on there because I don't give two shits. It's my channel. And, this drags on for so long. I had to get a new memory card. Anyways, guys, that's my opinion on it. Comment below. Do you think I may be overreacting? Do you think maybe I could be making some sort of sense? Just comment below what you think about it. And subscribe to my channel for more videos.